Welcome everyone to our channel. First, about cryptocurrencies. Now we're recording a quick video. We're here just after a major drop in Bitcoin. In a single night, it fell by 4.5%. Everyone is asking themselves whether we could have predicted this, whether we could have saved our money, or possibly even profit from these drops. That's almost a 5% drop in an hour. It's a 4% drop, but it actually happened in practically 2 hours. So, a quick spoiler, the short answer is, of course, yes. All you needed was our tool. We were at the trade fair in Łódź, at the startup zone. Great, really great fair. We have very fond memories. Thank you very much for the interest. It was quite significant, considering that we debuted just 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. So we are very satisfied. And those who follow our social media know that we are now in the process of live verification of our tool. At this moment, things are looking fantastic, because from the debut, which was January 31st, until February 15th, from 1 o'clock at night until the 15th, we have over 65% effectiveness on the 4-hour intervals. On the daily interval, we made a mistake only once. On the hourly interval, we have 51% effectiveness out of 400 positions, and here out of 52. The topic of the day is discussed in more detail here. 52 out of 4-hour positions, daily interval, 6 positions played, and overall still 10. Positions in play. And on the hourly intervals, 282 positions, 27 in play. We are still in the process of verifying this. These percentages may still go up or down. As I mentioned at the beginning on our channel, I encourage you, of course, to subscribe and follow us here. On X, our YouTube channel, also the first one about cryptocurrencies. So, as I said, why would we need a tool that doesn't work? It has to be verified in real market conditions, and that's exactly what's happening now. So let's go. Today I would like to talk to you about what's in the title here, in the title of this video. Were we able to predict this? Of course we were able to predict this. I realize that we've given you some really great tools. However, a lot of people still have trouble using this tool. We receive a lot of emails with this kind of feedback, so we're going to launch an entire series, a sort of mini course, where we'll go through everything step by step. So today, I'll show you how you could have used our zone, train zone, or rather the trading zone area. Of course, that's the address where you can find it, and on this zone, the exact tool I'm about to show you is available. For 70 Polish zloty per month, it can practically protect you. You'll see in a moment that with a high probability, you can practically protect yourself from this loss, meaning the loss of those potential funds, and possibly even make money on the declines if you trade downward. Alright, so let's get started. How could we have predicted this and what indicated it? So briefly, the declines happened today at 1 AM, if we take a look at the hourly chart somewhere. We are also a partner of Binx, and of course we encourage you to register using our links. If we look at the hourly chart somewhere there, these declines started at 1 AM, exactly at 1 AM, then at 2, 3, and now we are seeing some attempts at a rebound, but it's likely that the declines will continue. Could we have predicted this? Of course. How? Very simply. In our tool we have several very cool features. First, the best for determining the trend. Whether we are in a downtrend or in an uptrend, the best for identifying the trend are the largest possible time frames, such as the daily or 4-hour intervals. Let's see, let's run the analysis. This is all happening live. I recorded this today at 9:26. These are real market data at this moment. So as far as the daily chart is concerned, we are in a trend. We have an automatic filter in a downtrend. Our entry tool, here it's simply take profit. Everything is available to you here. But the very important key function, especially in what I'm about to show you now, is that we measure when it changed, the last trend. As you can see right now, the last trend change from neutral to short took place on January 28th at 1 o'clock at night. That's because the daily candle closes at 1 o'clock at night. Since January 28th, we've been in a downward trend, and that's it. We don't guess whether it's an upward trend, whether it's ending, whether it will be neutral, or whether it will be this or that. We simply inform you about it. We can go through the trend history. Previously, short to neutral was on the 27th, long to short on January 20th. And here you have the entire history. So yes, on the daily chart, we're in a downward trend. Let's see what the 4-hour chart looks like. We're analyzing. And now what happened with the trend here? When we go into the chart, with just a single click, you can automatically draw the Fibonacci. Of course, if we're in a short downward trend, we take a short position at the top of the channel. Here you have the channel, so if this percentage is above 70, you can consider taking a short position. As for the Fibonacci, you can draw it with a single click. As for the fours, trend. Up until now, we were coming off major declines. So for example, from my perspective as a trader, a downward trend, then a sideways trend, meaning neutral. How did our tools present this? I'll click it for you here once more, just to show you, because now I have everything right at hand and we can go through it together. The last trend change, meaning from neutral, let's say from that sideways movement to short, took place on February 21st at 9 p.m. Today is February 23rd. Previously, we were in a downward trend, meaning the downward trend shifted to neutral on February 16th at 1 p.m. If we take a look at the chart regarding February 16th, we're also waiting for confirmations. Of course, we cut off this trend, as you can notice here. It changes. Short, neutral, so it was moving sideways for a while. From our point of view, we also don't guess. We don't look for bottoms, we don't look for tops. We don't cut off the bottoms, but we cut off the top. We simply look for the trend. So what interests us here is that we were in this sideways movement from the 6th until yesterday, you could say within the range as it's drawn here, that is 77. And if you go to our tool, you'll see this shown exactly somewhere here. So this trend was fluctuating like that. Neutral, short, short, neutral, neutral, short. A proper trend reversal should look like this. We are in a downward trend. Short, neutral, long. This is on the 4s, of course. We are waiting for something like this on the daily chart to have confirmation. But if you get a signal that the trend is shifting from short, neutral to long, then we can consider a possible trend reversal here. On the 4-hour chart here, on some short interval. As you can see, it's been short, neutral, neutral, short, short, neutral, neutral, short the whole time. We haven't had any such situation practically since February 10th. The last long was on January 11th, if we can count that. And basically since January 18th, we have been moving sideways. What does it look like on the chart? January 11th, which means it's somewhere around here. So here we're moving sideways. As for that first long, it was, well, here it is. Actually, I meant February 11th, February 10th. February 10th, February 9th, so we can say that the short to neutral, meaning this drop, ended here on February 9th at 1 p.m. What does it look like on the chart? February 9th, the time, down here we have the date, 1 p.m., so it's roughly from this moment. From this moment, we're in a trend, a sideways trend, briefly downward, briefly neutral, but overall it's sideways. So from our point of view, a trend reversal will occur when it goes from short to neutral to long, and then confirmation. So we're not guessing. And now, taking this into account, this is just an introduction. Obviously, there have to be some self-study elements, so I'll do my best to make sure you learn something here. Of course, above the chart you have indicators, meaning what they are for the current situation. I'll click it once more regarding Bitcoin. What do you have for the current market situation? So a neutral channel, we're in the middle of the channel if we draw it, as you can see. Almost half of the channel, 32%. It's a bit short of halfway, so most likely there will be an attempt to rebound, and possibly we will continue the declines. We'll see how it plays out here. Indicators, neutral channel, downward trend, RSI neutral, MACD bearish, EMA bearish, Bollinger neutral. Fear, obviously it's extreme fear, so we should be looking for opportunities, but in this market it's very difficult. That's why only fear is basically showing green for us, the rest are neutral or bearish. A very difficult situation. I definitely wouldn't be looking for a position right now. Long, I definitely wouldn't identify this as a trend reversal, so I would play according to our tool, which means we play for declines. Now then, could you have caught this, meaning that exact hour? Let's see how it behaved. We have a really great feature in our tool, which is that we can go back in time and read the value of the indicators for specific market conditions at a particular hour. Since we already know about this drop, of course now everyone is wise, but we were wise beforehand. That's the difference exactly. The decline started at 1 a.m., right? So let's see what it looked like today. That is the 23rd, or let's take the 22nd at 1 a.m. Analyze retrospectively. Here it was still a short. Let's see when the change from a neutral trend to a short occurred. Let's go ahead and do the 21st at 9 o'clock sharp. I'm actually doing this live right now, of course, just like you will be doing it yourself very soon. For example, you can launch our specific tools at this exact hour and then you will get this kind of detailed information. We are currently short on the 21st at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Damn, I have a trend change here. Why am I shooting this? Sorry, phone call. Alright, to get back to the topic, so now let's play that Bitcoin analysis again and see if there's a date when the trend changed. So the trend change from neutral to short took place, I'll write this down, took place on February 21st at 9 p.m. So today is the 23rd, which means it was 2 days ago. And we'll see what happened at that hour. So let's go back to February 21st at 1 o'clock. February 21st, earlier it was the 21st, so until 5 p.m., right? Because at 1 p.m. we still had short neutral. And we'll go in 4-hour intervals so you can see whether it was possible to catch it, right? So 5 p.m., analyze backwards. Yeah. All right, we can push this through now because it's like this. And now you see theoretically we're going back. Let's stay in time. So you ran our tool at 5 p.m. on February 21st and got this information. So we're at the top of the channel. We're in neutral. As far as the trend goes, it's neutral, as you can see, meaning sideways. In a neutral trend, we don't open any positions. So of course we always suggest something, meaning the last trend, which is short, you can try it, but we calmly wait for confirmation. This is a tool. It's not something that's supposed to open a position for you. We verify the effectiveness of this tool only with the default values. All right, since we know that, so now we're in this kind of situation. February 21st, 5 o'clock p.m., we see something like this, a trend, a neutral trend, we're waiting. And this is very important. The spot, the top of the channel. If there was a downward trend, of course, we would open a short position. If it's an upward trend, we take a position or we wait for confirmation. Let's see what happened at 9 p.m. Analyze this as well. And right here it went through successfully. Do you see that? I'm not sure if you noticed this detail. It was exactly 5 o'clock p.m. Watch here. Neutral trend. 9 o'clock p.m. Analyze further. To keep it short, so what we've noticed is that at 9 o'clock in the evening, our tool successfully received a formal confirmation that this neutral trend is now beginning to shift significantly downward. So from this point on, you are only looking for opportunities to take short positions if you are trading on declines because you are taking profits from the channel. We have it at 76. We operate only on closed candles. These are 4-hour candles, which is why a lot has happened between these candles. I'll show you in a moment what it looks like on the hourly chart. So as for the 4-hour chart, right now we have confirmation that this neutral trend has ended, the one we were operating in during this period. If we look at the trend line, meaning the previous change, it was the change at 21 o'clock from 13 o'clock and 18 o'clock on February 18th. There was this change, neutral, short, short, neutral, so basically for about 3 days. If we add here, well, there were actually many more of these changes. Short, neutral, neutral, short. But basically, you understand, as you can see on the chart, we were in a sideways trend from, you could say, this period onward, with some breakouts here and there, with some smaller non-breakouts. So now we've moved into a downward trend. And here we go. It's 11:09 p.m. The drop happened at night. We remember that, right? So our tool has practically already suggested to you that we're entering a downward trend, meaning there's a high probability of declines. As for the market, we have something like this, how this signal behaved under these market conditions based on the last 500 candles. So for example, if we're looking at 4-hour candles, that's the last 52 days. So from this point on the chart, from the place where we are right now, 58.3% went up, 41% went down. We're waiting for something like this. Ideally, it looks like this, a high setup score. I think C is playable while A and B are ideal. The higher the setup score, that is, the higher the percentages and the corresponding number representing those percentages, the better for the setup. Ideally, if we also get market echo aligning, meaning we have confirmation of historical values that occurred at this spot, it's like this. Market echo is used for the left side of the chart. All our algorithms here are used to predict the right side of the chart, so that's why we're a better tool than, well, I don't know. It's hard to compare. Let the market verify it. But from my point of view, for us, that's only a part of it. It's just a part of the whole prediction, a part of the entire position. The left side of the chart, where for most of the tools you have available on the market, that's 100% or 95% of what they do. With us, it works a bit differently. Which will be better, time will tell. It's only been 2 weeks. All right, let's keep going. 21, that is 01, 22, the analyses as well. Let's see what's changing here. Now, Echo Rinku, and next we already have a short test. Echo Rinku has turned neutral, so from this point on, the chances were 50-50. And the chart looks like this. We're at the bottom. This one is closed. Candle. Next. Third. Third. Neutral. The chart looks like this. Did we like it yesterday? Oh, sorry, because this is We have to make a fifth. Sorry, it's still hours away. So rounded always to a full candle. Fifth. Short. Echo of the market. Still neutral 9. Still neutral, downtrend, not fully confirmed yet, but since we are in a downtrend, according to this, we are already looking for positions to go short. So of course, as close as possible to the upper edge of the channel and preferably at some FIBO level. As you can see, here it is. FIBO is drawn automatically with a single click. We are below the 200 EMA at the 100 EMA. Below the 200 EMA, in my opinion, to put it simply, we are in a downtrend. And basically, we have confirmation for all of this, but as I said, we don't guess. So yes, we look for a position as close to the top of the channel as possible, since the tool is showing us a short position. We are at 84%, and it actually looks pretty good. I think you can start looking for entries anywhere within this range. 0, 2, 3, 6. Of course, these reversals drawn here. When it comes to the downtrend, 6, 7, 9, 7, 4. Well, we'll see. For now, we're just observing. We know we're in a downtrend. We're still waiting for the market echoes. It will also shift into a downtrend for us. 13. But what am I getting at? This drop happened today, the 23rd, but you basically knew about it already on the 21st, 2 days earlier. So just by the way, now we're only looking for an opportunity to take this position. Echo Rinku is still neutral. There's some kind of struggle here at the top of this channel, right? It doesn't even have the strength anymore to reach the top of this channel. We've already broken through the first FIBO. 17th. And look what happened. As far as the trend is concerned, the filter has been in short the whole time, basically for a day and a half. Echo Rinku was still showing that there was a chance we could go up from this point, or at least stay neutral, like 50-50. But now, yes, on the 22nd at 5 p.m., it's as if I'm going backwards now, but if you had launched this tool, 20 Analyze, meaning the current market situation, you would have had exactly the same values that I'm about to show you. And now Echo Market Short, it has changed for us. I showed you step by step. The probability of going down is 60%, UP is 40%. Since we already have this detailed analytical chart available, we also have a powerful built-in feature that will automatically draw the entire chart, according to the very latest and most specific current market conditions. And you can see what happened. So, in short, yes, step by step you were already warned. You were prepared for the fact that this is not a trend reversal, this is not a bottom, this is just a typical sideways movement, which at this point is very likely to turn into a downward trend. Like I said, we're not going to guess. We're not going to tell you that. And maybe it's here, maybe I'll just draw, I don't know, 5 charts now. I'll draw 5 charts on TradingView, set some levels, draw some fibs, and analyze this gold pocket, these market conditions. These are 4-hour candles. The market conditions are this. Thousands of variables, taking into account, already leaving out the news entirely because we're not that immune to news here yet. Obviously, we try to anticipate it as well. We're working on algorithms that should predict it. So you're in a market where a 4 from here costs the same, but has nothing to do with a 4 from there, even though the price is identical. We analyze over 14 indicators. If you click here, Analyze. These indicators are calculated in real time for every market situation. There is a huge amount of this data. We recalculate for every single candlestick, so we're not guessing. If the trend changes, we'll simply inform you about it. Alright, the video is long, so I wanted to do this quickly, but just to briefly summarize what happened here. Yes, you could have predicted this. Yes, you were prepared for this drop. Yes, you could have saved that money. All you needed was to have our tool, which informed you that we were approaching a downward trend. 21. Short. On the eco market here, definitely a small rebound, so it moves to neutral. And 23, the culmination of the declines. Analysis of the candles. And you see RSA crossed below, oversold and high volume on the spike. So this drop happened. If any of those indicators, which are calculated in real time, reach high XM values, you'll get such an alert, just like you can see in the top right corner. And as we can see, we are in the midst of these declines. So yes, obviously I understand that this is a tool, and you simply have to learn how to use it. I think it's very simple and intuitive for advanced users. The more advanced users should keep it brief. Here we have, right, entry, current price. Here you set the stop loss. Here you set the take profit. And just watch. At this moment, we are still constantly verifying this tool in the market. As for the fours, it's live. Everything is available on our GitHub. You can click here and download these files from there. These are the actual values we use. We are completely transparent, because why would we want a tool that doesn't work? So yes, we are still analyzing it at this stage. Effectiveness, we have 29 left. Position on fours, 10. Positions on ones and 27. Position. I think these have already closed. I just need to check. This is a real-world verification of our tool since its debut. So for example, let's check something. We always have these open. What do we have here? What do we have? We have fours, one-day trades, one-day trades. So some of them are still running as one-day trades, meaning February 6th, February 7th. Do you know what the test looked like? We open a position once a day on closed candles when it comes to one-day trades. As for the fours, it's at 1, 5, 9, 13, 17 o'clock and so on. Only on closed candles, so for the one-day trades, that gives us an example. The position from February 6th, now look at how it appears on the chart. I think it will be best to do this during the training. February 6th, here we have the line up to the 6th, all the fans have already closed. So February 6th is a one-day trade. That's how it looks. 6, here is 7, so these candles are still active. And for example, if the first one reached the TPS, it's profitable up to the stop loss. So when it comes to stop losses, we can nicely filter them out. When it comes to stop losses, the lowest is at 7.4, the highest at 7.8. So if we haven't reached 7.4, we haven't reached it. Here is 7.4, so all are still in play. Now then, did any of them reach the TP? The highest at 55, the lowest at 51. I don't think so. Yes, we have 55 here. So that's how it is, it's still in play, and that's how we verify these tools. Market-based, under real market conditions. Why use a tool here if it doesn't work? So, as for the one-day trades, so far we have only one loss. A trade SO out of 5, which means 83% effectiveness. I'll show you. Here you have it, here it's nicely shown. 1,984, so these percentages will change. We're not closing this January, the market has to invite it, because we proposed some entry values, some stop loss values, some values, take profit, and we want to verify it. And these are just default values. It's just an additional function of our tool. What's going on there? More? Like I said, I'll show you how to use it in a more advanced way. At this point, I think I've effectively shown you how you could have avoided that loss, how you could have predicted it. A 5% drop in Bitcoin that happened at that time. That night. So when it comes to the fours, now we'll look at the fours just quickly. So you know how we calculate it, that it's not something, I don't know, artificial. The market verifies it, the market verifies our tool, and that's exactly how we want it to be. So we still have positions like this playing out. As for the date, February 6th, there's nothing older. So for example, position from February 6th at 1 p.m. February 6th. February 6th, let's switch to the 4-hour chart. Hour. 1 p.m. on the closed candle at 68,626. So we opened the position here on February 6th at 1 p.m. on this candle with a stop loss at 72,740. 72. It's still active. 72,740. We're somewhere around here, so it hasn't reached our level yet. And as for the take profit, 60,329. 60,000. We're still a bit short of making this profitable. Let's see if any of the TPs have been hit because the price dropped a bit. How low did it drop? Down to 64,100. It's possible that some of them have already closed at take profit, so the percentages are going up. As for the... we probably have 64, right? It dropped. Let's take all of them. 66. All these positions should close by today. Alright, so the position from February 14th at 9 o'clock. These are the suggested values from our tool. So yes, it was at that hour. You clicked analyze, you wrote down the entry, stop loss, take profit. So those were the conditions. February 14th at 9 o'clock a.m. Price 70,500. February 14th, we'll show it now. Here it is on the chart. It is February the 14th here at 9 o'clock in the morning. Looking at this specific candlestick right here, price 69,612, price 70,505 because it's on the closed candlestick, right? So 70,505. Sorry for doing it this way, but this could just be an educational value, a quick spontaneous video. So this candlestick and the stop loss at 72. So let's take it like this. Did all of them close for us? So the lowest stop loss was at 71,396 from February 14th. So 71,300. If we draw it from February 14th, it starts here. From February 14th, that's here. The lowest stop loss was at 71,396. So let us actually make it 71,300. And then we have 241 as well. $71,300, 346. You see, here it is. And now, how much was it here? It was very close here. Now, if you take a close look at the maximum price, as you can clearly see right here, wait, not over there, look right here instead. The maximum price reached a peak of $70,803 exactly. Do you see that figure on the screen right now? Here it changes. So all these positions went through. No, because none of them reached it. That was the lowest stop loss. So again, 5 positions. We close the profitable ones. The exchange moves to the next. And so then our effectiveness increases. There were exactly 16 positions still in place. So right now the percentages, when it comes to 83, about 65% on the 4s, which we have confirmed and verified. At this moment, we're adding a few more percent, so it's possible we're at 67%. We'll see how it closes anyway. That's the only way you can verify all the effective tools. Compare this with what you have somewhere else on other channels. Only real market conditions, only real values. Just the market itself. There's no manipulation here. Everything I do is completely transparent. You could have done all of this yourselves. So, briefly. Of course, it works for every token. We measure it on Bitcoin, because obviously for all the first crypto traders, it's Bitcoin. It works for every token that is listed on the Binance exchange. Binance, Bybit, as far as I know. If something isn't available, for example, or in the LTHH feature, you'll get a message like that. Of course, we're not working on everything yet. We've only been at this for 2 weeks. This is a new tool. As I mentioned, we were here at the trade fair in Łódź, so it was really great. We were received very positively. If something goes wrong in the feature, or there are any disruptions, you'll get a message like that. Check to see if you entered the token correctly, or it could simply be that the token isn't available on the Binance exchange. Alright, I think that's everything. It's looking like a tough red start to the week for us. We'll see where we end up. Like I said, we don't make guesses. We don't guess if this is the bottom, we don't guess if this is the top. We will simply inform you about it. I also have a promotion. Here, I think these codes will be gone by tomorrow, so it's first come, first served. And after that, we'll be going without any discounts. Of course, what are the plans? Starting Friday, we're launching a series where we'll be making real trades. As I said, we couldn't just start trading yet, because as a company we needed authorization to exchange crypto for fiat currencies, so before the expo. On Thursday we received that authorization. Now we're building a whole setup with cameras and everything, so it will also look more professional. And we're getting started. On Friday, we're starting the series. I want to do it on Mondays and Fridays. On Friday, there's a 90% chance we'll launch. And we'll be showing you everything live. Live, how it all works, live. We won't be doing anything special, just using the tool's default values, the ones that are suggested, default values.